I'm passionate about learning. Obviously, we're a learning organisation. That for me, that journey has to begin with people learning. As an educator, as someone that's worked in that space for so long, when it came time for our company to go, well, how does a team of people that build learning for everybody start the journey? We were at Adam Grant yesterday, and Adam said the best way you can possibly learn something is to have to teach it. So one of the things that we did was go, okay, everybody, we're going to use our skills in developing digital content to actually start understanding how we might pull together some learning to help people get a baseline on this, to help people understand some of the principles, to help people have an access point to this type of learning. And it's general to begin with, of course, but very, very quickly, and Annalie, we're obviously on that journey as an organisation now to go, how do we then start learning about the many, many facets of doing this well? And that means deeper learning about very specific things that make people unique. We need to do learning on disability. We need to do learning on neurodiversity. We need to do learning on cultural diversity. And it's only when an organisation invests deeply in those areas of learning that you start to see those deeper changes actually occurring, because that knowledge is there. I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on how that can work inside of an organisation. But you have to invest in that in a very meaningful way for me, for that to actually... and then when that learning is done, it has to translate to actions, which is probably the last part of today that I'd love to really sort of spend some time on with all of you. Organisations listening to this could be at any stage of that journey. Some organisations aren't on that journey at all. Some organisations are well through that journey and doing some great things. I'd like to just close by asking each of you if there were 2 things that an organisation could do to start looking at diversity and inclusion in a different way, in a way that will really cut through and make change happen in their organisations. What would they be? I might start with you, Annalie.
Thanks, Simon. For me, I come at this from the personal angle. I think focusing on your personal experience is the quickest way to motivation to making this policy and practice and procedure. So I really want to ask people to ask themselves, and it doesn't matter what role you have in the organization, everyone has a role as an ally and as an includer, or a leader of all those things as well. So I want to ask you to think about this idea of, do you want to lead this movement or be legislated into movement? Because, my friends, the writing is on the wall. It is coming, it is happening. And I really think now is the time to get on board and be a leader in this movement and not wait for legislation. And from that end, that's number 1. And number 2 is around asking yourself, what are your company's values? And how does the DEI conversation support those values? To your point, Simon, about the continued work that we're doing, this is the next step that we've been exploring as well. And I really encourage people to be mindful of the fact that this is a very personal experience and journey for people. It's fraught with vulnerability, it's fraught with shame and uncertainty. And this is why I want to bring in the idea of imperfect allyship, curiosity, compassion, and courage. If they're not part of your company's value suite, I would suggest exploring them for yourself and using them as a guidepost for this journey. Do you have curiosity about what's happening for others? Can you find compassion for others and for yourself in your imperfection as you go through this journey? And do you have the courage to move forward anyway?
Wonderful. 3 amazing tips. And I remember you sharing them with us and our team and what that meant for us in terms of thinking, what does that look like? I think everyone needs to think about a future where they recognise what that actually looks like. What will it look like when I see it? What will the world be when I see it?